My grandfather looked up, startled. "Son, why'd you roll up in a cab? What happened to the BMW I handed you on your 21st? Before I could get a word out, my mother beamed and answered for me. "That car's with your granddaughter now, Dad." Grandpa went very still, eyes narrowing just a fraction, and what he did after that filled my heart with a pride I'll carry forever. Hey, read it. I thought it was going to be a quiet Sunday lunch at my grandparents' house. Nothing dramatic, just plates of food and small talk. Grandpa had texted me the night before. "Come over tomorrow, I've got something for you." He never told you what it was, he loved the reveal, so I arrived in a taxi, not by choice, not because I enjoy wasting money on rides. I arrived that way because the sleek black BMW you had put in my name 2 years earlier, the one he'd pressed the keys into my palm with that huge grin, was gone. Taken. Reassigned without a single word to me. The second I climbed out of the cab, that old ache bloomed in my ribs. I told myself to breathe, act normal. But the moment I stepped inside, Grandpa spotted me through the screen door. "Kiddo," his eyebrows shot together. "Taxi. Where's your car?" My face burned. I opened my mouth and nothing came. My mother glided in before air even reached my lungs. "Oh, Dad, relax," she laughed, light as air. "We gave the BMW to your granddaughter. She actually uses it. He's home all the time anyway." She looped an arm around my sister's shoulders like they'd won a prize cattle at the fair. My sister flicked her hair and smirked, already acting like the title had always read her name. Grandpa's gaze moved slowly, sister, mother, then me. Something dark flickered behind his eyes. He knew. He always knew. I tried to speak. Mom cut me off again, bright and proud. "He's fine with it," we talked. Family decision. We had never talked. I'd come home one evening and the driveway was empty. Keys were in my sister's hand. Mom informed me the car was house property now, and I should be grateful I even got to drive it for a while. Grandpa stayed quiet a long beat, jaw working under the skin. "Buddy," he said at last, voice low, "did you actually agree to hand over that car?" My throat closed. I glanced at Mom. Her smile had teeth now. "Dad, enough," she snapped. "It's settled." The refrigerator's hum suddenly sounded like a jet engine. Grandpa studied me, the slump in my shoulders, the way I couldn't hold his eyes, the shame sitting on me like wet cement. For the first time in years, somebody really looked. He leaned back, folded his arms. He murmured. That was all. No shouting, no lecture, just a quiet filing away of facts. Lunch crawled by after that. Mom kept the spotlight blazing on my sister's new promotion, her new apartment, her new everything. Dad chuckled on cue. My sister floated around like the queen had arrived. Grandpa sat in his corner and watched, saying almost nothing. Every so often his eyes slid to me, the only one not being served seconds of praise. I smiled when I was supposed to. Inside I was bleeding. When plates were finally cleared, Grandpa tilted his head. "Buddy, walk with me." He led me to his study, the one room nobody entered without knocking, and shut the door with a soft click. "Talk," he said gently, "all of it." The whole story spilled out like poison finally lanced. When I finished, his exhale was slow and heavy. "So they took the gift I gave you, put it in your name. Never even asked." "They said I'd be selfish if I fought," I whispered. He muttered something that sounded a lot like bullshit, then placed a warm hand on my shoulder. "Listen close. You are not weak. You are not invisible. They treat you like this because you let them, but that ends today." My heart hammered. "Grandpa, it's fine. It is not fine." He strode past me, pulled the door open, and marched straight back to the living room. Mom looked up mid-brag. "Yes, Dad." Grandpa offered the politest smile I'd ever seen. "I've made a decision." The room went dead. "I want my BMW returned to its legal owner, today." My sister's mouth fell open. Mom actually sputtered. "Dad, she can buy her own damn car," he said, calm steel in every syllable. Dad tried. "Maybe we can all just—" "No," Grandpa said. "This family has forgotten what fair looks like." He turned to my sister. Every trace of warmth left his face. "Keys, now." Her hand shook as she fished them from her bag and set them on the coffee table. Grandpa picked them up, pressed them into my palm, and closed my fingers around them. Then he looked at my mother. "Tomorrow my attorney will be in touch. We're adjusting a few arrangements." Mom went white. "What arrangements?" "You'll see," he said, and the smile he gave her was pure granite. I didn't know the half of it yet. 2 mornings later, a courier showed up with thick envelopes and a silver-haired lawyer who shook my hand like we were old friends. "Your grandfather wants these delivered personally," he said, "and he's asked me to execute some immediate changes." Inside were the corrected BMW title already transferred back to me, revised trust documents, and a very polite but icy letter to my parents listing every gift, loan, and family expense Grandpa had paid for over the last 15 years. It ended with a 30-day deadline to repay anything taken without consent or face formal recovery. The lawyer's exact words: "He's also creating an irrevocable trust. From now on, every dollar leaves through neutral trustees. Anyone who helps themselves will find the money yanked back plus interest." The fallout was spectacular. Mom screamed into the phone. My sister sent paragraph-long panic texts. Dad showed up looking like he'd aged 10 years, begging me to call it a misunderstanding. I laid the ledger on the kitchen table. Flights, shopping sprees, car insurance for my sister's friends, all charged to accounts Grandpa had quietly covered for decades. "I'm not your ATM," I said. "Not anymore." They repaid, slowly, painfully, with signed agreements and witnessed apologies read aloud in front of cousins who couldn't believe their ears. Then came the final document, delivered by certified mail 2 weeks later. Grandpa had added a protected education fund for my future children and a business startup grant for me, both locked behind the same trustees. Untouchable, my mother read it and looked like someone had pulled the plug on her entire world. "He can't do this," she whispered. "He already did," Grandpa said when he came over that night. "I'm done being the endless fix. Time everybody learned responsibility the hard way." Word traveled like wildfire in a small town. Neighbors who used to smile politely now asked pointed questions at the grocery store. Church friends stopped offering family grace and started handing out budgeting worksheets. My sister picked up extra shifts. Mom enrolled in financial counseling. Dad, who once laughed at money classes, now sat in the front row taking notes. It wasn't pretty, it was necessary. Grandpa never gloated. He just kept showing up, driving my kid to practice when I was stuck late, sitting with Dad at the bank, dropping off lasagna when Mom was too exhausted to cook. He taught with casseroles and quiet presence what the lawyers taught with paper and penalties. One cold evening, Mom and I sat on the back steps sharing coffee. Steam curled between us. "You were right to stand your ground," she said, voice small. "I get it now," I nodded. We sat in silence a long time. They may never be perfect, but the days of quietly helping themselves to whatever they wanted are over. Grandpa didn't just give me back a car that day. He gave me back my voice, my worth, and a family that finally had to look in the mirror. Sometimes the fiercest love isn't the one that keeps giving. It's the one that finally says, "Enough," so everyone can grow.